It's all over.
What's cracking? What's poppin', y'all? You are officially plugged into the hottest new podcast in America. That's right, this is All Over Radio. I go by the name Loudmouth, your host with the West Coast mind in a D-Town, Texas grind. But of course, I can't do what I do without the help of the All Over Radio family. Caution, Mr. 700.
What's the deal? What's good? What's good, everybody?
And none other than my all over brethren, B. Clark.
What's brackin'? What's brackin'?
What's brackin'? What's crackin'? Yes, indeed. And we back at it again.
Oh my gosh, back at it again.
For those that aren't familiar, we are located in D-Town, Texas, the city on the come up, and our mission is to give you the topics you want and the 411 you need. All Over Radio is created by Black Kings, for Black Kings and Queens, and for anyone interested in Black culture and subjects that concern Black people everywhere and all over.
It's all over.
We'll hit you with trending current events, important political topics brought to you from a Black perspective, feature talented creative artists, and we'll give praise and support to organizations and individuals that are making an impact in their communities all over the United States.
It's all over.
Well, there's a lot going on in the world today, and I know my boy B. Clark has some interesting things he wants to bring to the table, so let's get into it.
Hey, what is the deal, my people? What is the deal? It's your boy B. Clark once again. I got some interesting things that happened over these last couple days.
Spicy.
Yeah. I'm gonna get your views, see how you feel about it, get your 2 cents. So first on the docket today, we're gonna talk about young Nick Cannon.
Nickelodeon.
Yes, sir.
Nickelodeon
Nick.
Cannon.
At one point in time, he was the man of Nickelodeon. What is he? President. He was content creator. He had everything going for him. He was the man.
Like 20 Kids Awards.
He pretty much started on Nickelodeon. I think right around that time.
When they win, it's a Nick Cannon statue.
with the turban and everything.
Yeah, exactly. The turban and the glasses and shit. Word. Yeah. But he started from right after Kenan and Kel left and started acting, and then he just started growing from there until he got into position to take over.
He had a very family-oriented type of relationship with the people that worked there. I think that was the bigger deal about what he said. Not only was he speaking things about a certain race of people, but that same race of people is who runs the company that you've been at for the past 16 to 20 years. So when I heard him talking, he was talking about I thought I trusted them, and he said words like that, and I'm like, wait a minute, my brother, how did you trust them? So I knew it had to be a longevity type thing.
Yeah, of course. When you're a kid, you've been there that long,
Right.
and you've produced so much content. It's like kind of your family, and all of a sudden now you find out that you've been fired. But apparently they think that he's wilding out.
Yeah, pretty much. So he was fired by Viacom CBS on last week, Tuesday, for making anti-Semitic remarks during a recent podcast of his podcast show, Cannon's Class.
He tried to do it on the
up and under. Yeah, he had Griff on there. Yeah.
Into my pocket. First of all, just word of anybody, be careful when you have Professor Griff on your show. I don't give a fuck who it is or what show it is. Unless you Vlad, that should be the only place where he talks uncensored and unrelented, because that's what set him up. Bro, you don't know what you're talking about, Nick Cannon. Stick to the Black Lives Matter shit. Until you get more information, bro. He just didn't sound like he knew what he was talking about. Maybe what he was saying was right. I'm not disputing that. But when you start opening that can of worms,
first of all, let's can we play what he said, since we're being blind to that fact right now?
Right.
We call it soul. We soul brothers and sisters. That's the melanin that connects us.
Right.
So the people that don't have it are a little, and I'm gonna say this carefully.
Carefully.
A little less. And where the term actually comes from, because I'm bringing it all the way back around to Minister Farrakhan, to where they may not have the compassion or the when they were sent to the mountains of Caucasus, when they didn't have the power of the sun, that the sun then started to deteriorate. So then they're acting out of fear, they're acting out of low self-esteem, they're acting out of a deficiency. So therefore, the only way that they can act is evil. The only way they have to rob, steal, rape.
I'm done.
You know what I'm saying? So
think about the hole he dug for himself for no reason.
Listen, I guess.
Did he feel under the influence because Griff was there? Do you think that has something to do with it?
No, of course it was.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
Because he felt. It sounds like when you listen to him, he can't even formulate what he's trying to communicate.
He's trying to reference something,
Yeah.
bro. Hey,
Word.
I read here, reference this, that, or that. So if you're wrong, then you could blame it on what you were referencing.
Exactly.
Don't just try to go off the head and you don't know enough. Like, come on, bro.
It's frustrating to me because for an individual who's been in production for so long,
As long as he has, hell yeah.
okay, you should have come prepared to the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it sounds like to me. He was not prepared to talk about the subject with Griff, and he got himself a situation where he's trying to piece together bits of knowledge.
They went off script. That wasn't on the talking points.
Right,
Exactly. So, you know, listen, like, there are some things around the ideological beliefs that Black Hebrews have. There's things that he's talking about that come from that perspective that are legitimate things that need to be discussed. Where you get yourself in trouble is when you begin to say inflammatory things and you use epithets and insinuate, particular things about a group of people.
It's
now,
a slippery slope.
What we didn't hear in that is that he came back around and said, we as people of African descent in the Americas are actually the true Hebrews.
Right.
And that comes from an ideological belief that really that's where the conversation should be around, not him stumbling and bumbling over his words.
Right. But I will say, shout out to him for keeping his job at the Masked Singer, so he didn't lose that.
I was just about to touch down on that.
Unmasking Lil Wayne in a rabbit costume. Get the fuck out of here.
At Fox Network,
corny. That's when you keep him corny. Like, we'll take the corny Nick Cannon. They make him take his turban off and all that. It's a cold world.
They let him keep the job at Fox pretty much, but they canceled the not canceled. Well, I guess they did cancel.
They don't get Ryan Seacrest to host that. The Wildin' Out.
Wildin' Out. But he got back support from everybody. Though it's not like
you better not stay on that set if he brought you to it. Come on.
No.
Hitman Holla, Sharon, all the niggas better.
DC Young Fly, Chico Bean, all them cats, bro.
I wouldn't go to another show if he wasn't on there.
You heard about Puff though? Gave him the offer to come to Revolt.
Puff said, "Come over here, get your money."
Yeah, he should though. Listen, y'all know. So I've worked on projects. I work with Revolt. Those are good people over there. Okay, and they're not getting enough recognition for what they're doing in terms of the content they're curating.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And the personalities that they're producing over there. I think that would be a huge power move. Why not take your ability, Nick Cannon, to create content, pair up with Diddy? You're gonna bring all that audience from Wildin' Out.
Man. Oh yeah, it's gonna come right over.
You see what I'm saying? So I think that is a power move. If we talk about Black empowerment, we talk about owning things. Diddy is a man who owns a Black-owned media company, fully Black-owned. Okay, so why not take your creative ability and be an asset and figure out how to create something stronger so you're not beholden. So even if you do say something that you can slip up, we all slip up and say things we shouldn't say, right? But it shouldn't impact your ability to provide for your family and your financial success. Now he backtracked and he apologized, right?
Because I don't think he meant what I don't think he knew 100% what he was saying. I don't feel like he should have been fired though. I feel like you can reprimand a person without firing them for making a comment out of ignorance as opposed to making a statement and standing on it. So I don't feel like that's what because even when he was just talking, you could tell he was uncertain about what he was saying.
He was piecing shit together.
Yeah, man, but I don't think he owns Wildin' Out anyway, so they're gonna have to call it something else. They're gonna have to call it something like
what Nickelodeon? I mean not Nickelodeon.
Nah, I think that's a Viacom.
That's a Viacom brand.
Okay.
So
I got the Instagram with Puffy posted. He said, Nick, come home to Revolt. Truly Black owned, we got your back and love you and what have you done for the culture and love what you have done for the culture. We are for our people, for us, by us. That's what Puffy posted on Shade Room IG.
Combs. Thank you, Mr. Combs. Thank you.
Puffy. One of a kind, boy. He been around forever.
That kind of nigga Diddy.
He Puffy to me.
Puff. Right.
Another interesting thing we got on the docket is your boy Trumpito. He had it out with a reporter the other day.
It's always female reporters too.
Yeah, he going hard.
He always does.
You feel like he can go harder than somebody else. So pretty much she asked Mr. Trump about the police killings of Black Americans. And your boy's rebuttal was, call it a terrible question. White people are dying too. He said it twice, matter of fact. White people are dying too. White people are dying too. That's what threw me off.
He said a lot more too. It's like a lot more white people are dying. So I was like, okay.
She said, and then she added, Black Americans are still dying by the hands of police officers. And she said, so are white people. White people are too. Way more than Black people are. And then he looked her dead in the face and he said, what a terrible question to ask. Right. And he was dead ass serious. What a terrible question to ask.
How dare you?
And then if you could see like the back screen, because they kept catching to the reporter, and her face was like, "What?" Like, so
I don't even know what to say about that. Okay, now, if I was to play on the other side of this,
here we go.
Okay,
all right. Go.
So black people are gonna be upset at me.
Right.
But let's just say, not to say that Donald Trump, what he said is legitimate, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But there are always in every statement is a slight bit of truth. That's how people hide propaganda.
Right.
Okay. Have you seen videos, just like I've seen videos? Like, did you see the one where the cops in Arizona had killed the young man in the hotel room with they filled him up with like 10 bullets. They made him crawl on the ground. He's weeping and crying. Have you seen it?
Mm-hmm. He's white?
Yes. You have to go see this. So he's like a exterminator or whatever, right? And he's there with one of his work colleagues on a work trip. He has the authorization to keep like a pellet kind of shotgun to shoot at different kind of vermin or whatever.
Yeah.
So there was a report called in that there's a guy in the hotel with a gun. The police come, and the video, man, it makes your stomach turn. It's kind of like watching Elijah McClain. You see, he was from Texas too, man, in his 20s, just there on a work trip. He comes around the corner in the hotel. The cops are there. Get down. Stop right there. Get on your hands and knees, right? So he's on his hands and knees. He's like, if you move, I will shoot you. I will kill you dead right here. Damn. Didn't I tell you to move your hand? He's like, he's crying, I don't know what to do. I'm scared.
Damn.
He's like, shut up. Crawl towards me. If you make a mistake, I will kill you.
Oh my God.
If you make a mistake.
What the fuck do you do in that situation?
Like, yes. And he says, crawl to me now. He's like, I don't know what you're telling me. You're yelling at me. He's like, shut up. And the guy's like,
it's like my worst nightmare.
That feel like Pinky or something.
And the instructions were crazy. He's like, cross your legs together. Cross your legs. You know what I said? Cross your legs. So
you sound like Pinky right now for Friday.
Cross your legs.
That's what you sound like.
So this video's nuts, man. So the guy is crawling on his hands and knees, okay, in the hotel. He's weeping.
Was it body cam footage?
Yes,
body
man.
cam, okay.
Yes, okay. He's weeping. He please don't kill me. I don't want to die. He's crawling on his hands and knees towards the police officer, and then he's barking commands at him. Stop. Keep going. Like, and so he's like, oh. He gets up like to look up, like, what do you want me to do? And they just light him up, man. They kill him dead, lay his body out in the middle of the hotel.
Oh my God.
Guess what?
Damn.
This cop, he's walking in the free world, hanging out, and he got a pension. He got a pension from the police department. Okay, so that was a white dude. Now, that doesn't legitimize what Trump said. But police are getting out of hand in general.
Nutso.
In general, and that is a fact.
Yeah, that is bananas. I don't even know what to do when you get pulled over by a cop now. It's like, how do you
I don't know.
What do you do? Like,
I don't know. I've thought about that a few times.
That's what I'm saying. Have y'all been pulled over since all this went down?
Hell nah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm driving slow.
What is your first initial thought when the cop pulls up behind
registration, Kanye slow out here. Like, that's how slow I'm driving, nigga. I ain't fucking with no police. Nigga, if I see them, I am as clean as they come, and I will veer off the road to let them niggas go.
I take early stops.
I'm not playing with them
what
niggas,
you do is you have to get an extra proper kind of, Anglo voice, and you have to
nigga,
lower
that don't
the
work
bass.
for me. That works for you.
You have to lower
that light skin wins sometimes, but not all the time.
Sometimes light skin winning.
Right on.
You see what I'm saying? My nigga, he gonna look at me and be like, nah, not that nigga. You get out the car. On my mama, they gonna tell me to get out the car. Like, all they gonna do is run my shit. Like, oh, you got a little drug charge here. Come on, get out the car. Let me search you. Then I'm fucked. So either way it goes, I'm not trying to get pulled over. Period.
Well, Nick Cannon would say that they're jealous of your melanin.
That's what it is. They out here burning up. Truth to that, my nigga. I'm with you. It's some fact to that. People gonna hate us, bro. We already done lost people for this type of conversation. Man. We gotta chill.
Yeah.
We gotta chill.
Well, since we're on the subject of comments, with the president and some wild ass comments, you got Nick Cannon with his wild ass comments. Let's go to All Over Radio's wild ass comments one good time.
Get into it. Hey. All Over Radio comments.
Play that one more time.
It's all over.
Yeah, get into it.
What we got, Clark? What
First of all,
about?
we got a young man called named Connor Pruitt. I'm terrible with last names. I'm butchering your names. Oh well.
That was the best part about watching the video. You do the comments last time was you butcher all the names.
Butchering everybody's names. Oh well.
Right.
First of all, Connor Pruitt said, "Love what you guys are doing. I just spent the last hour blowing off work. First of all, don't blow off work because of us, bro.
No, do it. Yes, nigga, encourage that.
Nah, because then he gonna be like, I got terminated because of y'all.
But if he get fired, he can watch all the videos.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
it works, my nigga. They got unemployment. Niggas out here cleaning up.
You got 2 more weeks of that $600.
For real, niggas cleaning up. You got it, Connor.
I spent the last hour blowing off work watching and listening to y'all. Let me know if I can send y'all some Dallas Cowboy. I'm gonna stop right there.
Fuck no. Get out of here, Connor.
No. Finish the comment. I want to hear the whole thing.
Let me know if I can send y'all some Dallas Cowboy hats to replace those Raider hats.
Oh, see, that was a dig at me. Okay,
Exactly.
listen, Raider Nation, yeah.
Don't send me no Cowboys,
Nah,
nothing, nigga.
well, hold on, Clark. Ain't you a Cowboys fan?
No. Who?
Wait a minute. Well, we already know you Benedict Arnold over here from Compton is a Giants fan.
Not a Cowboys fan.
So who's your squad then?
I'm a Boston Red Sox fan.
Wait, that's not football.
I ain't got no football
That's
team.
the only team he's ever listened to.
Look.
You learned something new today. That man only likes one team.
Red Sox.
He doesn't like a basketball team.
No, nothing else? No
Yes.
hockey?
No.
Baseball?
Nope.
With baseball, yeah.
Baseball, Red Sox all day.
Lacrosse,
It's
anything?
because it got
Tom
a big
Brady.
ass B up there. That's
Yeah.
why.
That's what it started off of. But nah.
Yeah, for real.
But nah, Tom Brady, my boy in football, and I really ain't got nobody in basketball.
You know what? That's sad. You know, we gonna listen. Okay, I'm not a Cowboy hater. There are a lot of people in Dallas that have moved here that are Cowboy haters. I don't mind. I want the Cowboys to prosper because I live around, you know what I'm saying, the Cowboys facility area on the north side of things, and I see the prosperity that Mr. Jones is bringing, so I root for them. I'm about making money, and when the Cowboys are doing well, the city does well, so I'm cool with that.
Until the Raiders come, right?
Now, well, listen, when the Raiders come to play, bro, you know what you already know
That's what I was waiting on.
You know what I'm saying? I went to the one preseason game a couple years ago when the Raiders came here, bro, and it was nation mobbed up. Cowboys fans were looking scared. They were looking perplexed. Like, where did all they come from? Like, we ride deep.
Before I get to these other comments, how you feel about the Las Vegas?
You know what? You don't have to be on the sports show. I'll talk about it. Yeah. No, listen, I'm a Raider fan no matter where.
For that, my nigga.
Yeah. You gonna charge me? So the parents.
All right, we got another comment from Miss Monique Parker. I ain't butcher your name, boo boo.
Yeah, Monique Parker.
If he don't like to, this refers to the mask section we did last week. If he don't like to wear the mask, he is part of the problem. Just because you Gucci don't mean you can't spread it. You might be immune to all that, but can still carry. Facts.
Why she take the words you use? Because you literally said, "Me, I don't wear the mask. I'm Gucci."
Yeah, I'm Gucci. Yeah,
just because you Gucci.
I'm getting all the smoke. Everybody's coming at me for my Raiders, you know what I'm saying, for the Corona mask. Y'all over here with these man-made viruses. I'm not playing with y'all.
Chill out, bro. Chill out. It's a virus either way. Okay?
Exactly.
No matter who made it, it's soup is soup, nigga.
Hey, where's to that? And then the last comment I got is from Jessica Carlson. Oh, Jesus, I just read this one.
Go ahead and read that out, bro. I want you to sound that out.
Let me get my
all
voice.
the consonants and vowels.
Jessica Carlson said the color community in general needs to vote. Vote green.
Green. Shout out to the Green Party. Shout out to the Green Party. Jessica, thank you for hipping us to the Green Party. But we ain't been called colored sinse 1955.
Man.
Did I reply to that comment? I think I did.
Yeah.
I probably did, but I don't know. That's kind of crazy.
Every time I read that colored part, I'm just like, what?
Colored.
Like,
color
what
community.
year is this?
Bro, listen, we get hit with so much shit on this page, bro, and it's always from rural America somewhere, some older, Caucasian person.
The
Monique
boondocks.
is not from
Feel a
rural
certain kind
America.
of way.
Monique is not from. So we getting it like, listen.
But that was your fault though. Put the damn mask on. That ain't got.
No, I didn't say.
Wear the mask.
Hold on. You see, this is how social media twists people's words. I said that I wear the mask as it's mandated to do so in the environments where it's mandated.
Right. Yep.
I got my mask in my pocket right here.
That's what you
Okay,
call selective
so I
listening.
got my receipts
Is
right
that a mask
here.
that look like a shirt sleeve, my nigga?
That looks like something.
Listen, they said
That's gonna get you
mask
arrested.
or face cover.
Face
See, it's certain
Okay.
shit you can wear in Plano, I guess, because I'm not putting that on and
Wait,
going
don't
to.
tell where I live. I don't live in Plano. I live in Irving. What you talking about? People try to find me and stuff.
You just told them you live by the Cowboys facility, so
That's Frisco. That could be Frisco, Little Elm. It could be anything.
you giving away too many specifics.
Yeah, you breaking it down way too
Oh
deep now.
no, but that's ridiculous though. Shout out to y'all for the comments. Though.
Appreciate the comments. Like I say, we do respond, so we love all your comments. Inbox us, fucking post whatever you got to do. Shout us out. We love it. We respond.
If you talk shit, we talk shit. Though.
I was
told
gonna say
y'all
keep it
we not scared of
respectful
none
because
of
we
you
will
niggas.
get ignorant.
I told y'all last week. I mean it. Every time I come in here, every time I see them comments, that's what I want to say.
They're
not
great.
scared of none
But
of
thank
you.
y'all. I love it too. So
man,
thank
it's
y'all so much,
entertaining.
man. Clark, that was a great socially influenced today. Thank you so much for those, man. That was great. I hope y'all enjoyed those
It's
too.
all over.
And why don't we hop into this world of politics, baby?
Politics as usual.
Today in America, Asheville, North Carolina votes unanimously to provide reparations to its black citizens.
Hey,
and the debate about reparations takes center stage in Washington, D.C. But what does it all mean? Are descendants of Africans in the Americas in for an epic payday?
Why is this so funny to me? Why is this like a joke to me?
Or is it all just a grandiose pipe dream?
What is this?
Should America pay what they owe?
I'm coming for that ass again until you pay what you owe.
What do you think, gentlemen? What do you think about reparations conversations going on right now?
How do you quantify what to give a person? Like,
That's what I'm saying.
Do I get the 40 acres and a mule? But what if I don't want a mule? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not. Fuck that. I'm taking a mule.
Take a mule?
Can I trade
What you
for
gonna do with the mule?
like a Mustang?
Shit. Somebody gonna pay for the mule. Somebody gonna pay for it.
Can I trade my mule for like a small dog or something like a hun dog?
What
Or
you want, a
something?
Labrador?
I don't know, fucking mule. What the fuck is this mule finna do for me? I don't need no mule.
Hey, somebody in rural America gonna buy that for a nice penny.
So I do have some nerdy facts that I'll spit at y'all in a little bit here. But in Asheville, North Carolina, what they did, this is how they exacted reparations. The city council went ahead and promoted the funding of home ownership and business opportunities, but they stopped short of stipulating direct payments. It was a unanimous vote. There's approximately 90,003 residents in the city of Asheville.
Damn.
Around 12,000 roughly are black. So that equals out to about 11 to 13,000 black residents that would be eligible for home ownership and business opportunities.
What do you mean eligible?
Well, because they're black, so they'd be eligible.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what?
I'm about to say that shit better not come with no stipulation.
That's what I'm saying. I'm eligible.
Nah, I'm
Like,
black. Like,
no,
that's-
you have black.
yeah,
you
you-
mix with a little Mexican, so you don't get that.
Just
there.
walk up and bless you like
Yeah.
you good.
Ta-da.
Yeah, anybody that checks black on your
Okay.
any kind of government application, that's where you at. So,
Oh boy.
yeah, 11 to 13,000 black residents, that equals 12% of the 93,000. And so those individuals are eligible for any types of programs that they're developing around home ownership and business opportunities. So that's how Asheville's chosen to do it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what do y'all think about that?
The big.
Would that satisfy you, I guess? Would you be okay? Like, if in Compton or
Yeah.
or in the ag, if
Yeah.
they said, hey, we're going to give y'all opportunities for loans for businesses, home ownership opportunities that are going to be easier, and funding that comes from it. You get to qualify for different kinds of grants and money that comes in, and it's only for black people. Would you say, okay, I'm satisfied with that?
No, I'm not. I think us as black people should never be satisfied with anything. Hell no, not that, especially that. So I don't think I'd be satisfied,
Sounds like
but
a
I would
setup.
be. Would I be grateful that I
It's
got
a catch
it?
to this shit
yeah, it's
somewhere,
something.
bro.
I just feel like it's
It's
gonna
a
be
clause
something.
that come with like a strike or something.
Like, they're gonna make me jump through hoops
There's
or some
something
shit
wrong
like
with
that.
this, bro. I don't understand. Like, this makes no sense to me. Like,
Okay.
I mean, I applaud anybody for the effort, but you know,
Yeah.
I'm not. That doesn't sound appealing.
It's a little too
12%,
late. Why?
yeah.
It seems like after all this, y'all could have did. I don't even know. I'm at a loss for words.
Now, there's other things. There's other things that are going on too as well. This is just in Asheville what they've done.
Okay, word.
Okay, so even in places like Providence, Rhode Island, the mayor signed an executive order to commence a truth-telling and reparations process. So they're open to identifying what are some tangible steps
Right.
that we can exact our reparations payments to our citizens within that community.
Yeah.
That's another thing that's happening. On the national stage, okay, U.S. Conference of Mayors backed a national call for reparations to 41 million black people, a program that could cost taxpayers, y'all ready for this?
Go ahead.
$6.2 quadrillion.
Damn.
Quadrillion.
Made
That's
that
a lot of
word
zeros.
up. Who made that word? up?
It's,
I ain't learned about that one in
they
school.
said it's 15 zeros, I think. Quadrillion.
I need my check.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to hear how they calculated this, though?
Please.
Okay, so unpaid hours slaves worked.
What? Hold on, say that again.
This is why I can't take this
Okay,
serious.
hold on,
Like,
hold on.
what?
This is
Who
real.
was clocking them though? Like, who was making sure he was working for a clean 40 every
Okay,
week?
it's
Come
unpaid
on, man.
hours, slaves work.
Did you add slaves work to that, or is that what?
That's what they said.
Okay. Oh, jeez.
I didn't add it. I'm not adding
Okay.
anything. No additives, baby. This is all natural. This is all natural. Calculates the price owed for massacres and discrimination.
Put a price on that. Huh?
Yes. Now this is the kicker, and it includes interest.
Shout out to y'all for y'all's creativity
Listen,
and innovation.
This is
Shout out to y'all.
this is in the national news.
Yeah.
Okay. Now listen. or I guess I could say shout out to the Black Dems. At least they're trying to do something.
Right. Yeah, y'all want to.
You know, okay, so this was put forth by Cory Booker and Sheila Jackson Lee, okay?
Two African Americans, I presume.
They are, of course, indeed.
Sheila Jackson Lee.
African Americans. And what's interesting about this is that this is a continuation of a conversation that started with H.R. Bill 40. If y'all are not familiar with that, it was in 2019, and Sheila Jackson, who's actually a U.S. representative from Texas,
Nice.
okay,
Texas.
18th congressional district. She's been serving in the House for her 13th term, and she put forth the H.R. 40 bill in 2019, and this is what the bill says, okay? It establishes the commission to study and develop reparation proposals for African Americans. The commission shall examine slavery and discrimination in the colonies and the United States from 1619 to the present and recommend appropriate remedies. Among other requirements, the commission shall identify the role of federal and state governments in supporting the institution of slavery, forms of discrimination in the public and private sectors against freed slaves and their descendants, and lingering negative effects of slavery on living African Americans and society. So that's in 2019. So this sounds like they've done some of that, and these calculations are a result of that 2019 beginning of findings, essentially.
Gotcha.
Okay, so
It's work. I see. I mean, even at I don't want to jump ahead of myself, but I'm just looking at what comes next. Those calculations there.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's doing some work behind the scenes,
okay,
but
so those are my made up calculations. The calculations that enter.
shit, that's you.
Okay.
This is part of the quote.
No. See, stop giving them nuggets before I get to it. Okay, you gotta stop giving these people.
I wasn't even gonna say nothing. I was just.
I just
looking.
imagine Loud at the house right now with a pencil and a calculator and shit.
I have the notes right here.
Roots and shit.
1960
Look,
watching Roots.
Listen, I have the notes right here. Okay, check it out. Now, this is what's interesting, though. Okay, the 6.2 quadrillion comes out to be, I think, like 15 million per person or something like that. And it's like, okay, I don't know. Now, we talked about the 40 acres and a mule. And so I did a calculation, right? What I did is, okay, how would that be equivalent in today if we just did the 40 acres and a mule? Now, they're calculating all kinds of like slave hours worked and interest and massacres and however, I don't know how you calculate. I guess you can calculate the damage done by a massacre, right? Property owned, like Black Wall Street burned down in Tulsa. You can calculate how much that was then and translated to now, right? So I guess you could do that. But I just said, okay, what if I just translated 40 acres and a mule and calculated that? What would that look like? So 41.4 million black people, 12.7% of the population 2017. So let's say 13% around there. Okay, so an average acre today is roughly between $3,000 to $4,000 for an acre. Okay, so I rounded that to say 4,000, just give us a little bit more. Okay, the one mule, okay, equates to about $2,000 on average. The average price of a mule is between $1,000 to $3,000. Apparently, you get a prize mule, you can sell that joker for $8,000. But for the sake of math,
You asked me what I'm gonna do with my fucking mule. That's what I'm gonna fucking do with my mule. I'm gonna flip it.
Okay, I got you. Now that we value it out, there we go. If I'm getting 8 racks for it, I'll sell it.
Now I can go to the market ready. Hey, here's my mule.
yeah, let me flip that mule, baby. I'm gonna flip that mule.
Straight cash, huh?
Yeah. So the mule I did, okay, let's say we averaged the mule about $2,000, right?
Okay.
So the mule is, what it represents is more than the value of the mule itself. It's also transportation, labor assistance, and transport, okay? So it's not just the value of the mule itself, all right? So think of it like a resale in a car. There's a resale value, but you also use that car for different things. So I said, okay, a mule kind of, because of transportation, labor assistance, and transport, it's kind of like a car. The average value of a car is about $40,000. $38,000 really is the national average for a car. So I rounded to 40 with the price of the mule in there together. So I said, okay, the mule is worth $40,000 today, let's say. Okay, the 40 acres times $4,000 is $160,000. Okay, but 40 acres plus the mule puts you at about $200,000.
There you go.
Okay, per person. All right, $200,000 by 41.4 million gets you 8.28 trillion.
What?
So, but $200,000.
Word.
If I got a deposit in my account, bro, I would be happy with that. Would y'all be happy with $200K though?
I'm good. Shit, you ain't got to tell me nothing else. I want my fucking mule though.
I mean, I took the stimulus happily, so
yeah, that's what 100 was cool with me too.
I mean, 200,000 to me is reasonable. If the government came to an agreement to give every black person $200,000, I would be satisfied with that.
Can you just imagine how people gonna walk? Oh, excuse me, how black people gonna walk around with $200,000 in their pocket?
Fix that shit.
Boy.
Yeah, niggas gonna have minks on and
Minks.
Texas.
No, please don't say that. You giving all the people on the Trump page sound bites.
Man.
You see here, they gonna be using us like they use Candace Owens. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see what the black person said? See here? I told you all Negro just buy Jordans.
Nah, they gotta do is go research me. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, they'll figure
But I'll
Go
take it. Give me
research
$200K. I'll take it. I mean,
Happily.
Yeah.
That to me, okay. I just did those calculations, just goofing off, playing with numbers, right? Just to try to see what the equivalent value is today for the 40 acres and the mule, just very black and white. And $200,000 to me seems reasonable.
Right.
Far more reasonable than 6.2 quadrillion and millions of dollars paid out to each black person in America.
Not giving us all 15 million.
America still owes other countries money. We're in debt.
But would that all come at one time though?
That's the question.
Would that
Like,
be
how
in
would you
payments?
execute it?
I mean, because you can give me the Bobby Bonilla treatment. Just keep paying me out little by little. I'm cool with that.
Every birthday.
Like the
Every birthday, yeah. Give me a couple racks. I'm cool.
Yeah. Or the lottery, how they do with the lottery.
Oh, yeah.
You take the cash pot. Maybe that's how they do it. Like, okay, we can give you 200,000.
I'll talk.
Okay, over the course of certain years, or you can take this 150 today.
I once knew a nigga, this is off topic, that got in a Greyhound accident and
really?
he lost his arm. And they paid that man like $100,000 or something every year on his birthday.
Damn.
I think it was for like 10 years or something like that because he was under the age of 18. But like once he got older, he got it all. But like, yeah, my boy got his arm cut off. You know what I'm saying? Niggas still kill you in Madden or 2K though. Don't get him fucked up. But yeah, my boy was getting paid every year.
I think I would take the installments though.
Nah, give me the cash up front.
You want it up front?
Yeah, because I can manage my money well. I don't
What
need
if I die?
I don't need someone else to manage my
If
money.
I die, does
I do it
my kids get it? How does that work?
They're gonna have to. Yeah,
Nah, they
get to
gonna
my
cut that
kids.
shit right as soon as you die. That shit is gonna die with you.
He died. It's gone too.
Yeah,
Sorry.
ain't nobody gonna know this.
But here's the thing: like, does the money solve the problems that we have? Right? Like you mentioned, like we joking, but there's some truth to it too.
Yeah.
Like, what are we gonna do with the money? Like, some people are gonna squander it, right? And you're gonna be in the same position that you were before. And they actually this is not a black or white thing.
Right.
Have you seen the lottery ruin my life? They have a
yeah,
show on
yeah.
TV.
Word, yeah.
The vast majority of lottery winners are depressed.
Word.
Okay, and they're not doing better than they were before because money doesn't solve problems. Money only makes you more of who you already are.
It enhances it.
Exactly. So if you're a greedy person, you're gonna continue to be greedy.
Right.
If you were benevolent, you're gonna be benevolent. Okay. If you had a lust problem, you're gonna use your money to further your lust problem. So
Hookers and whores.
yeah, exactly. Okay. So money only makes you more of who you already are. For me, gentlemen,
More money, more problems.
I think that when I see all the dialogue, I looked on the Blackout Coalition. One of the things that disturbed me with all of this conversation is us attacking each other for our differing perspectives and views. And that's what bothers me. Like, we have to be able to have these conversations because we're doing it out in the public space. Right. And we're giving people ammunition to criticize us and say they're not organized. They're not together. There's no strategy. And you heard Stephen A. Smith, even and Charles Barkley bemoan this just this week, right? Talking about we have to stop gnashing each other and backbiting each other. Right. And, so the most important thing for us, I think, as black people to understand is that we are going to inevitably disagree about how to effectively move forward. We all have differing worldviews, differing experiences and backgrounds. But what we cannot afford to do is tear each other down for our differing views and perspectives. Far too often, I see our own people attacking each other, demeaning each other, as I was saying, insulting each other's intelligence simply because we disagree on how we should be given justice. Yeah. Not that we deserve it, but how it should come to us. We have to be just as passionate about respect and civility amongst ourselves as we are about injustices that are done to our community by others. As we fight for freedom and equality, let us also fight as vigorously for black unity, basic respect, love, kindness, and courtesy amongst the brothers. That's my perspective.
Yeah. Right on.
It's a big deal, though. I think especially with the times the way they are now, there's no bigger thing to have than a solid community of people, coming together for conversations that matter and push things forward. Absolutely. As opposed to things that keep you stagnant. So while we're on the point of that, I always come to lighten up the mood. Talk about another community here in the Art and Life segment. We can talk about the Dallas producer community. Shout out to y'all brothers. Yes. And listen, this is me being out here, in the streets, moving around in Dallas, going to a lot of the beat battles myself, a lot of the showcases and shit like that, right? So I thought I had a grasp of like how deep it went, but even earlier today doing research, watching some of the videos that was done, just kind of describing the scene and the people that were involved in it. Shout out to everybody that was involved, especially in the Dallas Up, that whole project that went about because of Sick With It. Shout out to Sick With It out here, always doing major things.
Joel is always on it, man.
He's awesome. So. Going through it, I was just like, damn, there's a lot of stuff about these dudes that I didn't know, a lot of people that were involved. Even when it comes down to the guys' music that we use to curate our show, Miggy, he's very tied in with the Dallas producer community as well. He won one of the beat battles that I'll kind of get into what it is in a little bit. But it's Dallas is definitely a rich city in history and a hot spot for upcoming talent looking to take their careers to the next level. From artists going as far back as Big Al to DSR, from DOC to Erykah Badu, even more recently with Yella Beezy, Mo3, Bobby Sessions, and countless others putting on for the city and make a name in the world of mainstream and commercial. But for those outside of the city, there is a community that has been brewing and rising rapidly, even more so than the artists that were aforementioned. The Dallas producer scene. On this episode, we're going to take a deep dive into that. Starting off, I want to mention a group of producers that came together a few years back, culminating one of the most inspiring shows of unity that some can only hope to achieve. They titled themselves the Dallas Up Sound Collective. So, between the time frame of about 2015 up to the present, really, they've all kind of worked together to bring the new Dallas sound to the forefront. We got key members like Sick With It, who I talked about, October 1st, who's worked with everybody from Rick Ross to Lil Wayne to we got Mousequake, who's worked with everybody that you can imagine, winning awards for his engineering work. Your guy, the Kraken, Blue the Misfit, who's done work for Kendrick and Absol and Mac Miller, and just countless others, man, that were involved. Reezy Tunes, B Barber, like I can kind of go on Medicine. It's very deep.
So many.
And so just kind of looking at that, I went through the Machine Masters documentary. They have one if you get a chance, go to YouTube. It's called The Best New Producer City, Dallas Up Sound Collective. It's executive produced by Sick With It. And the Dallas Observer kind of describes the film as it follows Sick With It as he assembles 13 Dallas-based producers from his sound collective group, including Blue, Medicine, and the likes of, to create 10 beats in 7 days. It was a product that Sick With It brought together for unity among the city's producers, and he came up with the idea for the film in early 2015. So shout out to him for that because it was super dope.
It was cool.
If you watch it was super dope. And his profile risen. I know there was a big breakthrough in a certain period, especially at that time with like Snow the Product and ADD and Leon Bridges, The Outfit. You know what I'm saying? Just groups like that. So it kind of bubbled up then. And then we also, aside from that, a lot of them are involved in the iStandard showcase. So if you're not familiar with iStandard, it was established in 2015. Their vision was to create a platform in which the producer and songwriter could step out from behind the boards and display their talents to an audience conducive to enhancing their career. They invited Grammy Award-winning producers, multi-platinum engineers, hit songwriters, artists, executives, etc. to give advice and feedback to unknown beat makers and things like that. They partnered with ASCAP, A3C Conference and Festival, South by Southwest, SAE Institute, Media Tech Institute, and countless others. So that's another platform for the producers out here that they really get a chance to, and they travel everywhere, man. They be all in New York and Atlanta, and so they really get a chance to spread it out. Another initiative here in the city as far as the producer structure goes is the beat battles that go on. So shout out to my guys at the League of Extraordinary Beat Makers, my guys at the Culture. My boy Chris Cole is from California. He's from the city, so you could talk to him about whatever, and he fit right in with what we talk about. So shout out to him. Him and Giorgio. I actually got a chance to meet them outside of the beat battle. I met him at a park one day randomly with my kids, and his kid was having a birthday party. It was like, hey, you want to bring your daughters over here? And that's kind of how it started. And then I realized, like, damn, I know y'all through Necessary, so I went to there. Is brought to you by the Culture. They put on numerous successful events hosted by Ness, whom we featured last week. They've had guest judges like S1, Cardo, October 1st, and countless others offering insight while judging the rounds.
These are not like, I think it's important. These are not like they're up there playing their beats like the versus battles on Instagram.
No.
These cats,
they're performing them.
Yes, they are. You cannot rap to these tracks, y'all. Like they are producing literally beats to battle against other producers. It is some of the most unique thing you've ever seen. It's so cool.
Dope. And it's just one of those atmospheres for networking and promoting as well. I met so many people there. Hell, I met Cardo there. You know what I'm saying? I never met Cardo. I never probably will see that man again in my life. But you know, it was just it was a dope experience. I hope they get a chance to bring it back. They are still doing them. If you go to @theculture_ or the _culture, you can find them on Instagram. They still doing them. The one they were about to do about a month ago got shut down because of the situation. So, but outside of that, just other notable producers in the city, man, like S1, who's worked with Beyonce and Kanye and Jay-Z, and Lone Star, who's worked with Eminem, Jay White, that worked with Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B. You know, it's countless others here, man. So if you get a chance to, you come around, you want to know what's going on in Dallas, the producer scene is definitely flourishing. And I mean, like I said, even the Sound Collective thing was years ago, but they're still out here working. So shout out to them, man. Shout out to them. That's what's up.
You know, these cats are amazing, man. And you know, there's a few of them I know more or better than others. Same with you. There's some that you know better than others. And you know, one thing that I will say that stands out to me is their camaraderie. One, and their just general respect for everyone within their own community and everyone else. I have never been disrespected or even seen them speak ill to anyone. They don't get into conflicts. They don't get into beefs or battles. They're humble. They grind. Their work ethic is strong.
And they like working together. It's rare. It's very rare that you see people that like working together. Like artists are so feeble a lot of times about being so secretive and like so competitive that they kind of lock themselves in. And the one thing I learned from these, you know, these events that I've been out to with them, because you know my guy, shout out to Miggy again. He actually won one of these beat battles at the League of Extraordinary Beatmakers. And you know, he got a lot of publicity from it, and it kind of catapulted him out. And now, you know, now he's producing for Mo Is Better, got a song placed on 2K, and so it all happened from these beat battles. So you know, shout out to them for putting all that together, man, and really, really cultivating the sound and the scene here. Because when I first got here, you know, it was a lot different than what it is now. So to see where it's gotten to now is dope, man. So
and to reiterate what you said, that they're not just so that y'all that are outside of, you know, Dallas that are watching us and listening, they're not just in Dallas. Their music, you don't even probably realize they're producing tracks for some of your favorite records, and they're everywhere, man. I've seen these cats at the ASCAP Expo, down at South by Southwest doing beat battles and events, man. So they are on their grind, man. Shout out to them for sure.
Shout out to them, man. Yeah, that's all I got this week for Art and Life. What we getting to next?
All right, gentlemen, let's chop it up about some of the good things that are happening in the community.
Get up, get out, and get something. How will you make it if you never even try? You need to get up, get out, and get something.
All right, so listen, man, this segment of our show is dedicated to those that do. We call it our Community Impact Report.
Yes, sir.
And one brother that has been doing for a long time and doing a lot for the black community is a man by the name of Nakia Douglas. Nakia has been a longtime educator and advocate for black youth for almost 2 decades. He earned his Bachelor of Arts in Elementary Education and Teaching from Livingston College, and then went on to earn his Master's in Instructional Technology from Houston Baptist University. Nakia served as a principal for several DISD schools from 2003 to 2010, including Maceo Smith High School.
ACO.
But one of his most notable accomplishments was launching one of the most renowned male programs just for young boys, launching the Barack Obama Male Leadership Academy in Oak Cliff, where he served as principal from 2006 to 2010. And this is where I had the opportunity to meet him, and I was blown away by the curriculum and what he put together at this school. These young men are phenomenal. And so I want to kind of talk a little bit about Nakia. Right now, currently, he serves as the executive director of the Dallas Trio and Pre-Collegiate Program, which is a goal to develop students' academic, emotional, ethical, physical, and social skills for transformational impact in their life through school and leadership. And so he's gone, think about this, man. He's worked, got his degree in elementary education. He was a principal at a middle school in Dallas, principal at a high school in Dallas, started a not a charter, but it's a magnet school in the Male Leadership Academy, goes on to another role to be executive director of feeder programs, and then now at the university level in Dallas, working to help young men, young black males get ready for college. This man is amazing.
That's strong right there. That's strong as hell.
And what's great about Nakia is that he really does love the community. He lives in South Dallas. His kids go to schools in South Dallas, okay? So it's not like he lives in the burbs. He's commuting out and he's busing his, or his kids are in the burbs. His kids go to these schools, and they're phenomenal.
He's right in the fight with you.
Yeah, he is, man. And he just needs to get a lot of recognition and credit. One of the things, again, he invited me there to speak to the young men. I did a talk on Men of Destiny, and these young men, they speak articulately. They stand up straight. They address you. They ask philosophical questions deeper than I've heard adults ask me. And he created a curriculum that helps young black men thrive. And he's taking kids from some of the hardest pressed communities, at-risk communities across the DFW. So it's kids from Funky Town come, from the ag, from different parts of Dallas. It's not just in Oak Cliff. They come from all over the place, and they come to that school to learn. And I want to read a little bit about their core beliefs at the Barack Obama Male Leadership Academy.
Say the name one more time for me.
Barack Obama Male Leadership Academy. Our main purpose is to improve student academic achievement. Effective instruction makes the most difference in student academic performance. There is no excuse for poor quality instruction. With our help, at-risk students will achieve at the same rate as non-at-risk students. Staff members must have a commitment to children and a commitment to the pursuit of excellence. Campus core, engagement, encouragement, exposure, environment, excellence, student core, academia, brotherhood, character, perseverance. He's teaching these young men conflict resolution.
Yeah.
Okay, this is amazing. And the other thing that I think is so cool about it is he invites speakers from all different kinds of places to come and educate the young men in an open forum discussion. Okay, so when I went there, I got a chance to speak to them. I had a talk prepared. My thing was positioning for them for their future. They sat there, they listened to everything I had to say, and they asked me questions for about 30 minutes. Nice. How many teenagers you know will ask any type of question when they're being taught something?
No.
They typically just, okay, yeah, is that it? I'm good, and I'm out. No, man, they engage. I had young men literally sitting with me. They had to go to class. He allowed them, some of them, to stay with me, even though the bell had rung. Okay, because he's more concerned about the growth and the progression of these young men.
And so, knowledge.
Nakia, I also I did some voiceover work for a Boys and Girls Club in South Dallas, and I went there to the little fundraiser because they used my voiceover for a video for a fundraiser. Who's there? Nakia Douglas and his family, and also that cat. Y'all on the sports show, y'all know Acho. What you know? What I'm saying the cat that's on ESPN, one of the analysts that comes on Stephen A. Smith. He was speaking about the Black Lives Matter situation too.
Oh, Emmanuel Acho.
Yeah. He was there too. Gotcha. He was there too as well at the fundraiser at the Dallas Boys and Girls Club. Man, so I really love Nakia Douglas, man. He's a good brother, man. He's sacrificing his time, his talent. He's doing tangible things. And we talk about education, the importance of education, right within our communities. And I think it was important for us to kind of bring this up because the way that he's doing things is different than maybe the traditional public school is doing things, and he's seeing a lot higher engagement rate. So do you guys think that we need to do more things like what Nakia is doing and create curriculum specifically for black kids? Or do you think that we don't need our own curriculum at all? Like some say that we should just be able to learn like everybody else and learn the exact same way, but he obviously found a formula that works.
No, I mean, for me personally, I think if there's an option to have it in the schools and the classrooms, that it helps, because then you have certain individuals. Like, I mean, for me, where I was at, we had a deficiency in in our supplies at school. Like, we had a shortage of books, and like it wasn't enough seats in classrooms and shit like that when I was coming up. But now I don't even think it's that bad in certain communities. But what you don't have is education pertaining to us, you know what I mean? So we miss out on a lot of information that we unfortunately don't learn until we get old enough to research it for ourselves. So I think that this is important because it gives you a glimpse into other things that you would probably never get to see as a young man growing up in a certain area. So I think it's important. I think that there should be more efforts like this made in those communities, because the other thing that isn't accounted for is single parent homes and you know, sons with no fathers. So if you have a strong, you know, male figure in your life that can help you get somewhere, that can take you to school if you need to get there. Shit, I stopped going to Washington High School in LA because I got jumped once. I was like, I ain't fucking with y'all no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it would make a difference to have somebody that you know that can come pick you up and say, hey, I got you. You know what I mean? Like, so this is dope. I think it's important.
I think it's dope as hell too to have that curriculum instead of just getting that education 1 month out of the whole 12 years, like, or just learning about certain black, the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, the Harriet Tubmans. There's so much else going on with us black people than what they just teach us in school.
Yeah,
the basics of it. That's what I call it, the basics. Just let's force feed them that, because once you get older, you find out a whole world of other things that didn't happen. So I believe, giving us that knowledge at a young age, and more than just 28 days. Give or take, like, come on, that's some bullshit.
Not only that, like you said about the mannerisms of him and the other things that he's teaching them that are important that we miss out on. So that's important too.
Yeah, man, it was cool. Like, they even have robotics classes. Okay, so this idea, for example, like, robotics is like a specialty class that you have to,
extracurricular,
qualify and be super smart for, right?
Yeah.
You can't do robotics unless you hit certain test requirements, and he says no. These young men are smart enough to do robotics. They have robotics classes. Their creed is really cool, too, at the Barack Obama Male Leadership Academy. We believe in the transformative powers of knowledge and wisdom. We believe that success is brought about by perseverance, not chance. We know our actions are governed by strength of character rather than whims of emotion. We resist excuses, holding ourselves accountable for our actions. We are successful through honesty, humility, and the pursuit of intellectual excellence. We are loyal to our family. We are our brother's keepers. We are committed to our community. We are servants of mankind. We have the audacity to hope. We have the audacity to succeed. That is our community impact report for today. That's all we got. As always, we want to tell you where to go and watch, listen, subscribe, and follow us. It's All Over Radio on Facebook, Twitter, and IG.
It's all over.
It's All Over Radio. For those that are watching, you can see it right at the bottom of the screen. You want to watch our YouTube content? Go to It's All Over Media on YouTube. It's all over Media on YouTube. And if you want to hear the Texas to Cali playlist on the All Over Spotify page, go to It's All Over Media on Spotify. It's all over Media on Spotify. We actually have some special guests in the studio audience today.
It's a hand claps for the homies. You can't really see them, but they in here though.
They're in here. We do. We have an MC from Chi-Town, goes by the name of Raz Rock.
My guy.
Yes,
Razrilla.
indeed. We have another MC as well as businessman. Okay, he goes by the Agtown boss J Dash First Class J Hurt.
Yes, sir.
He's in there. They in here hanging out with us, and so. We advocate for artists. We mean that. Chi-Town to the Agtown to Cali and all the way back through. And we want to give much love to those that give love to us. And so thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of All Over Radio. It's all over all until all falls. Until next time, peace.